Now, I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea what this video was gonna be about, and it put me in a tough situation, so I decided to let it just come to me. A few days back, I went for ice cream with my mom, and we took a taxi. On our way, I would look through the window and I would see people living in terrible conditions. People living in shacks, and I could see the sad look on their faces. Faces of despair. Now, this wasn't the only time I would see this. All throughout the day, I would see these people living a life that they don't want. And you might be wondering, Lorenzo, why are you telling me this? This doesn't affect me, so why should I care? And yeah, some of you might care, but the reason I'm telling you this is not that you have to feel sorry for them or to make you feel sad about how unfair the world is. I'm telling you this because these people are lacking something that could allow them to get out such a lifestyle, and you might be lacking it too. Let me tell you a story about two boys, Timothy and Pete. Now, Timothy has a father that owns multiple companies, and he smokes a Cuban cigar every time he makes a big deal. This means that Timothy's father has generational wealth. As a result of this, his dad wasn't around a lot and couldn't teach him a lot of the things that made him so successful. This led to Timothy living a really comfortable life, throwing parties, buying the most expensive of everything, because his mindset was that, oh, my dad has all the money in the world, I don't have to worry about spending. Pete, on the other hand, had a father that was barely making enough money to put food on the table. Pete's dad was a fisherman, and he would sell the fish he'd catch in order to pay rent, and even though it wasn't much, he'd buy some food. There were times where Pete's dad came home empty-handed, and he was always prepared for days like this, because as a fisherman, he knew that sometimes you win and sometimes you have to adapt and overcome. Pete lived a really uncomfortable life. He'd have sleepless nights, a result of him sleeping on a couch, comparable to a mouse. But Pete had a mindset not many have. Pete thought to himself that he won't continue living like this, and he'll become successful one day to help his family. Now, years go by and Timothy's father dies from a terrible lung disease, and Pete's dad isn't far away from death either. After a couple of years, Timothy was found on the streets begging for spare change, as he blew all the money that his father had left him. Pete, on the other hand, started his own business in the fishing industry to honor his father. Now, this isn't a story about the underdog winning, because I could have changed this all and said that Timothy understood that he has to continue his father's business if he wants to stay successful and to not be comfortable. And I could have said that Pete is a lazy bum that would use his circumstances as excuses not to get further in life, having a mindset of lack and limitation. You see, your circumstances don't make you who you are. Your mindset does. And that's what most people do. They use their circumstances as excuses to limit themselves and to be seen as the victim, when in reality, you could actually get way further just by changing your attitude and your mindset. This story is about how your mindset will set you apart from the rest. It's not about what you have or who you know. Yeah, those things can help a lot, but it all depends on your mindset and your will to achieve, because Timothy had everything. He knew everyone and had all the knowledge at his disposal. But nah, Timothy would rather live in comfort. Pete had nothing. He knew no one. He had to learn from everyone and everything that he saw, exploring worlds of wisdom most adults haven't even deemed to enter. This story can also teach us that comfort is your enemy, and that hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. But more on that the next video. Remember to greet someone with a smile today, and most of all, remember to improve daily. Thank you.